Welcome back to the Kalimantan International Indigenous Film Festival 2020.
Indigenous are rising.
Show yourself!
Woo!
Yeah!
And this is the last final discussion,
Right.
Kak.
Yeah, it's really exciting because now we are at the show.
5 and no, it's
No.
not 5. We have a final dash.
We already finished show
Yeah.
5, but we have still amazing
Panel discussion.
panel discussions, which is the title of the panel discussion now is Decolonizing through Audiovisual. So, well, like Sue, I'm a bit nervous actually, with this Kalimantan Indigenous Film Festival. This is the first time for us to the festival. I don't know why this microphone is not friendly with me. Yeah, but I hope the audience still can hear my voice clearly. This is something that I'm a bit afraid of because, like technical things sometimes can just go crazy. But do you think we already do it well, right?
Oh,
during these
of
2 days?
course, because yesterday, do you know how many people that joined us
How
yesterday?
many?
Oh, there are 800 people around the world, not only from Indonesia, guys, but also from India.
Right.
My friend from Netherlands also,
Wow.
from Europe, Germany,
Wow.
Japan. Hello,
Yes,
hello,
Japan?
sensei. My sensei joined.
All right, and we also have some friends from Australia
Yeah.
and from US, from New York City and New Jersey also watching us yesterday and today also actually. Yeah, so it's really new experience, right, for us.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to take care of a lot of technical things, but the best thing with online festival is everyone can access it, right,
Yeah.
from all other part of the world. And actually, this is very fit with our vision and purpose in Kalimantan International Indigenous Film Festival because we want people all over the world to listen to the voices from the communities, right?
Yeah, bring the voice.
Bring
Speak
the
up
voices.
for themselves and let people listen to it.
Exactly, and that's what we discussed in the previous panel,
Yeah.
right? I mean, like for me, the filmmakers already do a great job with their films, and they really give the good and best insight from their talks during Q&A section. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, even though we already finished with all the Q&A sections with the filmmakers, but actually for me, I'm very interested and I'm most excited with this panel discussion because this is the essence of the International Indigenous Film Festival that we have done so far. So basically, with Indigenous Film Festival, it's not only about making film and it's not only about, creating a good story with the good plot or storyline. Not like that, but the essence of the Indigenous Film Festival is to bring what really matters from the community to people that never listens or maybe they never hear about the stories from this community. Like for me, decolonizing through audiovisual, it's really something that every indigenous filmmaker should understand and should be passionate about. I mean, that's my personal opinion, but I believe like all the filmmakers agree with me. I'm confident. Right, and so you are helping me with the translation right
I
now,
will be
right?
your translator
Okay.
now.
Okay, so for your informations for these sections, we are going to hold these sections all in English, but we still have a few speakers that will speak in Bahasa, so Sue will help to translate that into Bahasa. Right now, we already have four, 4, right, 4, 5 with me and 6 with you. We have 6 people that will discuss in this panel discussions about decolonizing through audiovisual. Hi friends, can you hear my voice clearly?
Hello.
Hi, okay, we have Seral Murmu talking from Jharkhand. Are you in Jharkhand or in Mumbai right now, Seral?
I am in Mumbai right now. I'm actually stuck here.
Okay, and we have Harold Nyumbang. Harold, hi. We just
Hi.
met in the previous sections and now you're coming with us again. Thank you for sparing your time.
Thank you.
And we also have our sister Niluh Putu Indradewi actually the only female filmmaker.
I just realized that she's the only one filmmaker.
Right.
The only
So
girl, Wonder Woman.
proud actually.
But you also the filmmakers
Yes.
of Balut Pundak.
So hi Niluh Putu, are you in Bali right now?
No, I'm in Jogja.
All right, you are in Jogja, so you are talking
Yeah.
from waktu Indonesia Barat ya.
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. And Dian Arianto, are you already here or terkeluarkan ya? Okay. So no worry, actually we have one friend from Kalimantan, Dian Arianto. He made a film yesterday about the Dayak Kantu, right? Beduya Dayak
Dayak
Kantu, about the preservations of the tradition of chanting in their community. So, our title today, Decolonizing through Audiovisual. You know, like it's a bit heavy thing to talk about decolonize. And I wonder actually how many people want to watch this session, because this is not about hyping something. This is not about my film being selected as an official selection. You know, like it's not about that, but it's about how we use audiovisual to decolonize, to face this reality of the colonizations that actually our community already experienced like since a long time ago. So just before I come up with the questions, you know, I don't want this to be a section where a moderator asks a full of questions, just throw you a bunch of questions and then you answer no. But I want us to be more interactive with this. So I want everyone to just feel free to share your opinions, your thoughts, and also maybe your experience with this, you know, like colonizations that we face in our community. And I want to say hi to Dian Arianto right now. He's already here. So, don't worry because Sue will translate for you. Jadi nggak apa-apa, nanti dia akan terjemahkan dalam bahasa Indonesia buatmu. Oke, sip.
Oke, makasih.
Okay, so my experience with the filming actually started just new actually. It just started like 6 years ago. I started to make my very first video in 2014. That's right after I finished a training about the human rights advocacy, you know, human rights training like that. You know, I watch a video and I thought at the time, wow, that's problem in the video. It's not only happening somewhere else, but it's happening around me. And then when I come back to Palangkaraya, I decided like, gosh, I had no time. I have to act now. I have to document these things now because this is very important for people to know. This is very important for people to understand about the importance of this issue. And by the time, you know, like I learned a lot that it's not an easy thing when we want to address the issues to decolonize. I mean, if we talk about happy thing, people will easily accept it. But if we start to talk about some sensitive thing, you know, like advocacy video, like you document the palm oil corporations or coal mining, and some conflicts where the police arrested the community or pointing their gun to the community, it becomes a different story. It's hard actually. So I would like to ask you guys want to share first about their experience while doing filming, and like it's very not only challenging but like it's a bit dangerous for you because it's quite sensitive, or like maybe you think it's not acceptable in the community or by the government. I don't know. Who want to share first? Just raise your hand and yeah, you can talk.
Pertanyaan dari Sinta, siapa yang ingin berbagi pengalamannya yang cukup menantang dan berbahaya, apalagi ini tidak bisa tidak diterima oleh masyarakat? Mungkin pengalamannya ketika membuat film.
Siapa?
So you're asking while shooting what problem did we face or in general how do you face in life?
Yeah, well, actually,
Can you hear me?
yes, yes. Well, actually, like you can just share your experience. I mean, like, Cheryl, you talk a lot about the issues of indigenous communities and all the violations there. So, do you have any specific where do you have any specific experience when you're documenting the stories and like it's a dangerous moment for you, whether from community or corporations or maybe government or society?
Well, I haven't myself faced, but I have heard many stories where people from my indigenous community who are actively into this audiovisual activism and creating contents and videos so that it can be used later on for advocacy. There have been many incidents where it was life threatening to them. Yeah, definitely. But what I want to share is what this colonialism, quote unquote, you do actually, in the what we say, the way indigenous people are portrayed to other people, other community. The audiovisual medium is too powerful for that, and the way we have been portrayed that the other community also, they consume all those things only, and they make their perception about us, the individuals, lower being, people, uh, people from lower strata, and they used to, discriminate actually. And I remember Orissa, and we were there for some shoot, for a documentary shoot, and there it was just a casual thing, but there were some Hindu friends of mine, and we just entered the temple, and what happened there is it was fresh. Actually, it was fresh. There was this Kandamal issue going on there, that the Christian minorities were been attacked by the majority people who are there, majority religion people. And what happened is when we entered some, I don't know, I was accompanying my friend who was a Hindu, and we entered a temple. And there, when we were inside, the way, the priest was looking at me, it was yeah, I shouldn't be, making any controversial statement here, but yes, I felt as if, when they were giving us some what we say, prasad, what we call all the fruits and whatever you take it from the temple for your the priest was giving as if, there was some kind of disapproval from his side. Who is this guy who's entered, because he can easily recognize me with my features and all,
Yeah.
uh, all the features, the individual features I have and all. So this kind of, discrimination, also is there. Uh, I think this is what I have, faced it firsthand. And as of violence, you're saying that the dangers and all. Actually, I want to say that there are many places where I have been, told not to visit, because that places can be dangerous for people, the filmmakers, or it can be dangerous for them. So it has, yeah. I have never faced anything like that, but yes, I have been warned that not to enter such and such places, such and such territory. Yeah, there have been instances.
Right, right. It's interesting that you mentioned like like this is the common challenge for the filmmakers that they will say like, hey, do not make this controversial statement or things like that,
Yeah.
right? And then like, okay, you can talk about this, but don't talk about this. I mean, like like this kind of oppositions always happening, especially if we want to make a films about the community themselves. Um, and I don't know whether some of our friends also experience the experience like what Cyril just told us, because I personally thought that when you make the films like about conflicts, and then you will know beforehand that you will get such kind of like resistance or oppositions, things like that. But talking about the decolonizations, like the colonizing through audiovisual, I think Niluh Putu addressed it really well through the film Linggih Aksara, because like Sarah mentioned about the discriminations that happen. Like discrimination is something that we inherit from the colonializations, right? I mean, in the indigenous communities that live together as a community for 1,000 years, we don't have that thing, like because we are living as a family, right? Even we are from different tribes, but we are the same indigenous community and we love each other just like family. And discrimination, it's not the part of our practice in our society, but that's what we inherit from the colonialism time at the time. And Niluh Putu addressed it through Linggih Aksara, how people still discriminate, like misunderstood about people who still practice liak. So, Niluh Putu, what do you think about that? How you manage to deal with this kind of issue and the approach when you want people to learn more about the things that they think, like, yeah, it's not a good thing, and then they discriminate a certain group of people. So, how do you, um, how do you think?
In my experience, I so hard to find the subject with one vision with me. So many people with, uh, I found the subject with people to people, and many subject that I found before this in front of the camera. Uh, this tell about the liak with another perspective, not with my perspective. And this is my uh, heart from my process, and yeah.
Okay. So you have a difficulty in finding the subject, right? The
Yeah.
characters of the story, and yeah, actually that's also one of the challenge for the filmmakers when they want to make a film about the certain characters, because maybe the characters or the person that we want to put as the subject in the films, maybe they are afraid or they don't want to, right? I think it's really challenging, and I really appreciate you, Niluh Putu, to do that. I mean, like, you are so brave to do that. And you are so good that you are able to convince that persons to be filmed. And Harold Nyumbang. So, what do you think about that, and what is your experience with that? I mean, you talk also about how actually young generations sometimes have these misconceptions, right, about the practice from the ancestors, and because they have been exposed too much, to modernism, and they start to underestimate or like do not believe about the heritage or what belongs to our community. So how you connect that dot with our effort to decolonize through audiovisual?
All right. To me, it's that we're when I want to vocal out about my traditions, my culture, is that sometimes we often forgot about the beauty of it. Yes, it's true that we are all facing discrimination and how we're being suppressed by the majority. But I choose to let people to see the beauty of our own culture by telling our folklore. And I want people to remember that we also have beautiful stories. There's something to documenting about when people want to know more about our people. And this story of um, from our ancestor is something I would like to document or something like that. Yeah.
It's interesting what you said to show the other side from the community, right? The beauty, and it's interesting because when we make a film, you know, like some filmmakers will have a different preference. Like some people prefer to show from the to show the sides of the power, you know, like the struggles, like, hey, we are suffering and this is what we do, this is what you have to do, this is what you have to change, you know. And some filmmakers decide to show another side, um, the beauty of the cultures, the initiative from the communities to still preserve their culture. And I personally believe these two things are very, very important and both necessary in this our effort to decolonize through audiovisual. Because if we just focus on the suffering, on the fight, on the struggles, it's very difficult, you know, to survive. I mean, like for me, I'm an activist myself. Like there are many times I have to pull myself together because I film a lot of sad stories and conflict between the communities and the companies, and I really had the mental breakdown. So I know I don't want to really focus on the one side only, but yeah, like for example, in this Kalimantan News Film Festival, we show also the dance and then also the singing and like you said, the folklores from the community. That's also one thing, one effort. And
Yeah.
yeah, you want to say something more,
Uh,
please?
yeah. Also, that we as indigenous people, the Dayak people, we believe in dreams. In where back years ago, we delivering our stories by sitting down together at Y, which we call as the living room in Longhouse, and they're all sharing stories for what they dreamed back then. And we doesn't have alphabet where we can just write and document, and that's what make our community is interesting because we are born as a storyteller, and
Yeah,
and the fact that our story has not been documented in terms of
right,
publishing a books,
right.
and we are all telling stories by words to words, mouth
Yeah,
to mouth,
yeah,
and that's why we need to film it and make
yeah.
it into a story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I totally agree with that. Mostly our grandparents, like ancestor, they will tell the story, just like just tell the story, right? And then by the
Yeah.
time we start to forget, we don't have the documentation of it. So it's very important to start document it now. Um, Rian, Dian Arianto, are you here with us? No, disconnected. Okay, I think Rian are Dian Dian Arianto are disconnected with us. He is disconnected. Like I think like he and his team make a very very good films about the documentations of the chanting tradition from their tribe. That's practice that actually has been last for um, like 1,000 years, I think, from the very beginning, right? But now these young generations, they do not really care about the tradition anymore. So Dian and friends in dance academy, they started to document the chanting, and they start to learn also how to practice it. And okay, I hope Dian can join us after this. But like this one questions really bothers me. I don't know who want to answer. Maybe all of you guys can answer. Now we talk about the Westerners audience. Okay, we talk about global audience because there is a lot of time where we we have these cultures, right? We have our culture. I mean, we have natural resources and we have beautiful cultures and biodiversity, and there's so many people that want to know about that, but somehow there is a tendency of that culture being romanticized, right? Romanticized, romantisasi bahasa bahasa Indonesianya. The culture itself, it's like in the vulgar word, I would say it's being exploited, like, and there are so many perspectives about that, but mostly I heard from some people from the community, they would say like, oh, we already lost our natural resources. I mean, hey guys, you investors, you like people from outside, you already exploit our forests, our land, and now you exploit our culture as well. But some people will say, we happy to share our culture to the world, to people in the Western world, and they feel so much being appreciated with that. How do you feel about that? How do you think, and what is your personal opinion about that? Who want to answer first? Sarah, okay, go ahead, brother.
So you mean to say the way the rituals are shown in an exotic way, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
It's
yeah,
beauty, they say, right?
but there's a thin line. We should be very what we say. We should be very careful when we do that, because there should be, I won't say that there should be some kind of sharing is important, but when you romanticize it to an extent that you have to just make it consumable for your audience, uh, then the very the very spirit of that the ritual and all, it's just for a sake of what we say, it's an art, it's just you using it like an artifact in a museum kind. Yeah. Yeah, we should be very careful about that, what you're saying. Yeah. It is not actually it is not necessary that this will happen only to the outsiders who are recording this. It can also happen with us, tribal
Yeah.
filmmakers, and we are sitting. It is a very thin line. We should be very careful what we are doing. It can uh, go toward this exotism, and also, and
Yeah.
we can carefully keep it safe also in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Sarah. I totally agree with that.
And the only thing we can do in this is whatever we are recording, or whatever things we are talking about, the rituals and customs and all, we should be very well versed and very well what we say, we should have in-depth knowledge about what is the real thing about this ritual, why do we do that, and we should be thinking about this thing very in depth from our heart. Then only we can be giving it to giving it some respect. Otherwise, maybe anybody can come and shoot and do anything they want to, and they can do it. Yeah, that way, this is actually what we call cultural appropriation, kind of.
Right, right,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
right, exactly.
yeah.
And it happens in so
It
many
happen.
places.
It
I
can
mean, it
also
happened to
happen.
me. It happened to me
Yeah,
also. I mean, I had
yeah,
a bad
yeah,
experience with that as well. But
yeah,
like we as a filmmakers also, we learn like sometimes like for us as an indigenous filmmakers, especially for those who are new in this field of filming, sometimes we are very innocent. I mean, I'm talking about myself. I don't have like a very bad idea, but that like, hi, okay, people want to learn, okay, we welcome them. But actually, the outcome of that, oh my gosh, is terrible. So,
yeah.
so it's a learning, like a hard lesson life for me, But yeah, yeah, it makes me thinking a lot. Like you said, we need to be careful.
Yeah.
Harold Nyumbang, what do you think?
Um, I think I kind of agree with Cyril about this. We need to have this one thin line between appreciating it, because sometimes what happens in my own country itself, they're making a film about our people, but sometimes they are not using our local actor, which is Dayak people itself. So it's some sort colonizing in a way,
Yeah,
and is I would say it's a culture misappropriation itself. We as a Dayak people, we know instantly that that is not a Dayak speaker. Yeah. So I think if they want to make something or they want to learn is that they need to learn how to appreciate it instead to go misappropriate about it. Yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And it happens also in Indonesia. Um, yeah, many stories like that, like they make films, but the actors is not from the community, and there are so many improvisations. And the worst thing is if they pictures the locals as a like bad woman or bad man. We have the history with that, but because the local do not know about the films, do not really understand about that, they just say like, yeah.
They
They're-
didn't screen the film
Yeah.
for the community.
yeah, they never come back to the community and show the films. So yeah, that one thing also that we are need to be aware, right? Niluh Putu, what do you think about that? If you want to speak in Bahasa, that's okay. If you want to continue in English, yeah, that will be fine.
Yeah. Uh, in my experience, the Western audience are more like want to learn more about my film, don't want to exploit or something, but they want to learn more and want to read book what my transcript like lontar, like my book. Uh, jadi nggak mau eksploitasi tapi lebih ke ingin belajar lebih banyak tentang budaya Bali.
So the Westerners who work with me, they do not exploit this, but they wanted to learn more about our traditions, Bali traditions.
Yeah, that's what actually important, right? Like we are happy if people want to learn about our cultures, right? I mean, like the Dayak also happy if people come from outside and they want to learn about our culture, involving in the ceremony, and they also become the part of the family. But it's just a different thing when some people start to commercialize or like make the cultural misappropriation. Appropriation. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, something like with that. Okay. Guys, do you have any question in the studio? We don't have any questions in the live streaming, so if someone in the studio have the question, you can ask. No? Sue, do you have any questions? I mean, I have a lot of fun talking with these filmmakers. Yeah, it's not only encouraging for me. Okay, Seral. Seral have question. You can ask to other speakers as well if you want.
No, it's not a question. I just want to add what Heral said. The thing is, and you also mentioned it, the risk of this, what we say, romanticization, no, this can actually go to some extent when our people will be joining, maybe when our people will be making that content more. There's a risk when the people from outside come and portray or tell our stories, but this is what I'm thinking. This is the best opportunity. This is the best time for us to get into this medium, audiovisual medium, and tell our stories. I was just going through now this topic. I was just googling out, and I read it somewhere. The New Zealand filmmakers, indigenous filmmakers, they had this slogan of nothing about us without us. So it's like when you're telling my story, I have to be there. Then I think the risk of the cultural appropriation decreases to an extent. Yeah.
Thank you, Seral. Sue, what do you think about that, Sue?
I'm totally agree with all the speakers, like Cheryl says, and Herald and Cheryl. It's quite hard to pronounce that. Quite similar. Yeah, I think the first thing that we have to do is respect the community. Like Cheryl just say that not there is no story without us. Yeah. So, but I also agree with Niluh Putu that say that it's okay if the Western wanted to work together with me, making the films because they wanted to learn. As long as, like Harold say, you need to appreciate it.
Right.
Yeah. So I think we have to make a rule, like must be a rule, right, to work with the indigenous community.
Yeah.
Like we need to respect them, we need to like involve them, making the story because this is from the community. That's what I think about. Yeah.
And you know, like the funny thing is, whenever I do the presentations or screening with the, I would say outsiders, you know, outside Indonesia, like global audience, the first question they will ask me, they will say, "How do you get funding for your film?" So I was surprised because they didn't ask for the content itself, like the storyline. I mean, yes, in the discussions like this they will ask, but in the certain interview, the first questions they will ask me, how the funding. So I told one thing, the same thing to all the interviewers or the audience that asked me that thing. I said like, you make film because you have funding. We make film because we have stories. It's totally different thing. So, yeah, I would like to extend also my respect to all the indigenous filmmakers that already spending their time to document the stories of the communities, and then they spending a lot of time in doing editing, right, and submitting to the festivals and screening and giving their time to talk via Zoom like this, you know, like it's something that cannot be measured by anything. We cannot trade it, we cannot take it for granted. And I really hope everyone that watched this panel today will understand the essence of the filmmaking for the indigenous community. So I think that's all that I can say. So guys, one more time, I will let you to promote yourself, your community, maybe your YouTube channel, your works, and maybe some message that you want to say before we end this panel. Please start with Niluh Putu.
Audionya Kak.
Iya. Social media account.
Itu sekali lagi bisa promosikan website atau Facebook kakak atau YouTube di mana bisa orang-orang mengenal lebih dalam mengenai karya kakak atau mengenai kakak sendiri, dan juga pesan terakhir untuk semua yang menonton Kalimantan Indigenous Film Festival. Pesan maksud.
YouTube di Sansekerta Pictures, Instagram Sansekerta Picture, personal account Indradewi.a. Indradewi. Pesannya lebih ke lestarikan budaya Indonesia.
Serving the cultures of Indonesia.
Preserve your cultures. Thank you, Niluh Putu. Harold, please promote yourself and say the inspiring, motivating words to all the indigenous filmmakers.
So you can follow me on IG, HRLD Nyumbang, also my Facebook, Harold Nyumbang, and my YouTube channel as well, Harold Nyumbang. And my words for indigenous filmmaker is that always believe in the power of film. We are delivering stories. Film itself is a whole form of art. There's painting, there's filming video, there's colors, fashion, and everything is into one. And we making film is a way of delivering information and emotion as well. And if we can make a powerful film, everybody gonna watch it, everybody gonna believe it, and it can bring a lot of changes, especially for our people. And also be bold, no matter what it is. Always look into film festival. Always look for finding funding in a way of keep on telling your story. Even pitching your idea is also telling your story and voicing out your opinion, your stories, and everybody gonna listen it. You get it or you're not getting it, it doesn't matter. What matter is that you standing up for yourself and you tell your story, and that's all for me.
Tell your
Very
story.
powerful.
Tell your
Oh
story.
my God.
Thank you, Harold. Sarah, please.
Yeah. Um, well, I would like to take this opportunity also to thank Kalimantan Indigenous Film Festival to give this platform to indigenous filmmakers, creators who can bring on their film and show it here. I don't think there are much platforms in all over the world where you can show indigenous content. So I'm very thankful, first of all. And I don't have my what do we say company or something like that. I'm a small group, and we work together. You can follow me on Facebook with this same name, Seral Murmu. My Instagram name is also Seral Murmu. And with this also, one more thing I would like to take this opportunity to. I love my language actually. Too, I would like to love to thank you people in my language, Santali. Uh, ᱤᱧ ᱟᱹᱰᱤ ᱨᱟᱹᱥᱠᱟᱹᱧ ᱵᱩᱡᱷᱟᱹᱣᱮᱫᱼᱟ ᱡᱮ ᱟᱯᱮ ᱠᱚ ᱱᱚᱰᱮ ᱢᱮᱱᱟᱜ ᱯᱮᱭᱟ ᱟᱨ ᱱᱚᱣᱟ ᱯᱞᱟᱴᱯᱷᱚᱨᱢ ᱯᱮ ᱮᱢᱟᱜ ᱞᱮᱭᱟ ᱡᱮ ᱵᱟᱝᱟ ᱯᱷᱤᱞᱢ ᱱᱚᱝᱠᱟ ᱞᱮ ᱫᱮᱠᱷᱟᱣ ᱫᱟᱲᱮᱭᱟᱜ ᱠᱟᱱᱟ ᱱᱚᱝᱠᱟ ᱜᱮ ᱟᱨᱦᱚᱸ ᱡᱩᱫᱤ ᱜᱟᱱᱚᱜ ᱠᱷᱟᱱ ᱟᱞᱮ ᱥᱮᱱ ᱨᱮᱦᱚᱸ ᱱᱚᱝᱠᱟ ᱟᱨᱦᱚᱸ ᱵᱚᱱ ᱵᱮᱱᱟᱣᱟ ᱢᱤᱫᱛᱮ ᱡᱩᱢᱤᱫ ᱵᱚᱱ ᱛᱟᱦᱮᱱᱟ ᱢᱤᱫ ᱛᱮᱵᱚᱱ ᱞᱟᱦᱟᱜᱼᱟ ᱟᱹᱰᱤ ᱟᱹᱰᱤ ᱡᱚᱦᱟᱨ. Yeah, thank you.
Johar.
Johar.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, thank you. That's so encouraging. All right, this is the end of this panel discussion. So thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, just give a hands for our filmmakers. All right, that's the end of the panel discussion, Decolonizing through Audiovisuals. And now the session is over, but we still have one session left. What is that, Sue?
Celebration night.
Celebration night! Yay! Woo!
The one that we are looking forward, yeah?
Exactly. We are going to celebrate together our identity as an indigenous persons, and of course to commemorate also the International Day of the World Indigenous People. So what are we going to have after this, Sue?
Oh, we have a live performance.
We will have live performance, and
we have
then
a dance.
we have a dance.
We have a karungut.
We have a karungut.
And we still have Kak Henry.
Oh yeah, we still have Sape performance. Right. And also, we are going to hear the declarations on the rights of indigenous people. Yay!
Yeah, stay with us, yeah, guys.
Yeah, just please stay with us. Just visit our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to leave a comment, just don't be hesitate. Just leave your comment there. It should not be a question, but you can just leave the words of encouragement for everyone.
We're also greeting like Sarah do.
Yeah,
Greeting
just greeting in your mother tongue, and
Yeah.
then you can introduce yourself. Whatever you want to say, just say it over there.
Show yourself.
Show yourself. Okay, so stay with us in Kalimantan International Indigenous Film Festival 2020.
Indigenous are rising.
Show yourself.